decades, construction, well, it had this reputation, didn't it? Kind of lagging behind.
Mm-hmm. Definitely seen as a bit old school compared to other industries.
Right. While everyone else was diving headfirst into digital, construction often seemed happy with, the status quo. But that story, it's changing dramatically.
Oh, absolutely. What was once maybe one of the least digitized sectors is now, well, it's undergoing a genuine revolution.
I'm BJ Ford, and today on The Deep Dive, that's exactly what we're getting into. This is all about the ConTech revolution. We're looking at how AI, robotics, even 3D printing are fundamentally reshaping U.S. construction.
It's pretty fascinating.
It really is, seeing one of the world's biggest industries finally hit the accelerator on digital transformation.
And our aim today, for you listening, is really to give you a clear, concise shortcut to understanding this rapid change, because things are moving fast.
So what's pushing it?
Well, several things. You've got really strong demand, especially infrastructure projects. Then there's the chronic labor shortage. That's a huge factor.
You find enough people?
Exactly. And on top of that, increasing pressure for just more data, more transparency through the whole process. And what's really interesting, I think, is how PropTech and ConTech are starting to blur.
Yeah, that convergence point. They used to feel like separate worlds.
Right. But now it's seen more as a continuum.
That convergence is key, isn't it? It's not just let's build faster. It's about creating these digital twins, rich data models that live alongside the physical asset.
Throughout its entire life cycle.
Which changes everything downstream, how buildings are managed, maintained, even valued.
Exactly.
And all the insights we're pulling together today come from a really comprehensive article. It's titled The Evolution of ConTech: How AI, Robots, and 3D Printing Are Reinventing U.S. Construction. It's from a leading property technology magazine.
Great source for this.
Definitely. Okay, so let's unpack this whole revolution. Think back maybe just 10 years. A high-tech tool on a job site might have been what, a laser level? Maybe some detailed 2D blueprints?
Yeah, that sounds about right. Pretty basic stuff compared to now.
Fast forward to today, and wow, it's a completely different picture. ConTech solutions are popping up everywhere. Residential, commercial, massive infrastructure jobs.
Yeah.
It's across the board.
It really is comprehensive. Take residential. You've got startups delivering prefabricated modular homes, even 3D printed houses.
Trying to tackle that housing shortage with factory speed.
Precisely. And in commercial, cloud-based BIM building information modeling platforms are pretty much standard now.
Allowing everyone to collaborate in real time.
Yeah, exactly. Catching design clashes way earlier, which, avoids those really expensive change orders down the line.
And infrastructure. Big civil projects.
Drones are huge there. Autonomous equipment, too. Surveying sites, doing precision earth moving for highways, utilities, that kind of thing.
So it's not just isolated gadgets. It's this integrated approach across the whole property life cycle. Real estate folks now see construction tech as just part of the investment.
That's the shift. It's a natural extension. And as Angelica Crystal Donati put it in Forbes, ConTech is the technology used to innovate the way we plan, design, and build structures.
Plan, design, and build.
Yeah.
So it starts way before the first shovel hits the ground.
Absolutely. Think of generative design algorithms, AI exploring thousands of design options, digital permitting portals, we'll touch on that later, 3D virtual walkthroughs. It's all geared towards making the actual build process much smoother, much more predictable.
Okay. Beyond the robots and drones we can see, there's this huge, maybe quieter revolution happening with software, specifically AI-driven construction management platforms.
Yeah, this is a massive area. These systems are crunching just enormous amounts of project data. We're talking schedules, budgets, countless job site photos.
To help teams make better calls.
Vastly better, yeah. More informed decisions. Companies like Procore Technologies, for example, they're almost everywhere, used on, over 3 million projects globally. It acts as this single source of truth, from pre-construction right through to closeout. Autodesk Construction Cloud does similar things, coordinating plans, tracking progress, connecting all the stakeholders.
And the AI piece.
The AI and analytics deliver real-time insights, better efficiency, better predictability, and importantly, improved safety.
Let's talk about AI in the field for a second.
Okay.
Open space, that's a great example, right?
Oh, definitely. What they do is pretty clever. They use 360-degree cameras, often just mounted on a worker's hard hat.
That someone just walks the site.
Yeah, just does their normal walk. And the computer vision AI automatically maps all those photos onto the project plans. It stitches them together into this, well, it's like Google Street View, but for your active construction site.
That's incredible, the transparency that must offer.
It's immense. Think about remote stakeholders, the owner, maybe the lender, inspectors.
Mhm.
They can virtually walk the site anytime from anywhere. OpenSpace actually claims it's like 30 times faster than traditional manual photo documentation.
And fewer arguments about what actually happened when.
Exactly. Clear, time-stamped photo evidence. Jivan Kalanithi, their CEO, put it nicely. We're using AI to augment workers' capabilities by making documentation fast, easy, and complete.
And it's more than just a record, right? That data can feed back into quality control.
Right. This is where it gets really powerful. Imagine the AI not just capturing the as-built state, but actively comparing it in real time against the BIM model.
So it flags discrepancies, like, hey, this wall is 6 inches off.
Precisely. Or that pipe run doesn't match the design. It flags it immediately, so teams can fix it before it becomes a major, costly rework issue.
Which is huge because rework is notoriously expensive in construction, like 5 to 10% of project costs sometimes.
Easily. So AI-assisted QA/QC, that's plugging a massive financial leak right there, game changer.
And AI is hitting the back office too, the financial side.
Yep. Companies like Brick are using AI to automate things like accounts payable, payroll, even cash flow forecasting for contractors. They just raised another $8 million recently.
Shows investor confidence.
Absolutely. Confidence that AI can bring the same kinds of financial efficiencies to construction that it's brought to other industries.
Okay, let's shift to the really visible stuff. The robots. The autonomous equipment showing up on more and more cutting-edge sites.
Yeah, this is where you really see the change. And it directly addresses that huge labor shortage we mentioned, estimated at, 650,000 workers needed in the U.S.?
Wow. So robots are filling the gaps.
They are, especially for tasks that are dirty, repetitive, or hazardous. Built Robotics is a good example. They have this exosystem that retrofits standard excavators, turns them into self-driving trenching robots.
For big infrastructure jobs.
Exactly. Pipeline projects, solar farms, and they highlight their safety record. Perfect, they say, after thousands of hours. That's thanks to geofencing, computer vision, keeps things safe while boosting productivity.
And other types of robots.
Oh, yeah. Toggle is a cool startup in New York. They use industrial robots for rebar fabrication, bending and assembling the steel cages used in concrete.
Taking on a really labor-intensive task.
It's hugely labor-intensive. They claim it cuts labor costs by half and boosts productivity 5 times over. Their CEO, Daniel Blank, basically said, labor cost, availability, speed. That's top of mind for construction firms right now.
Makes sense. Construction Dive had a quote reinforcing that too, didn't they?
Yeah, something like, robots help alleviate the construction labor shortage and make job sites safer by automating tasks that are cumbersome for humans. There was also Woin Technologies, which Built Robotics acquired. They had an automated concrete power trowel that could supposedly do the work of 6 people.
Incredible potential there. And what about drones? You mentioned them earlier for infrastructure.
Drones are definitely one of the fastest growing automation classes. They're not just for taking pretty pictures anymore.
Right. Surveying, inspecting structures, tracking progress.
All of that. Construction is actually the second largest sector now for commercial drone use. We're talking billions in value.
But on the practical benefits.
Speed and accuracy, mainly. A drone can scan a huge site in minutes, generate detailed maps, take measurements that would take a survey crew days to do manually.
There was a survey mentioned.
Yeah, a 2024 survey found almost 45% of U.S. civil contractors are using drones. And they reported big jumps in accuracy, like 61% better, and cutting data collection time by over half.
Plus safety, I imagine. Keeping people away from dangerous spots.
Definitely. Fewer people walking unstable ground or climbing structures for inspections. And all that aerial data feeds right back into the project management systems, giving everyone much data visibility.
So we've got software, we've got robots and drones. But the innovation goes deeper, right, into the actual methods of building.
Absolutely. Modular construction is a big one. Building sections or modules in a factory setting.
Controlled environment, year-round work.
Exactly. Less waste, potential economies of scale. Then you just assemble the modules on site.
Now, there was that high-profile case, Katerra. They raised a ton of money but didn't make it.
Right, the cautionary tale. Raised over $2 billion SoftBank money, but failed in 2021. Lots of reasons. Execution issues, pandemic costs.
So does that mean modular is flawed?
Not at all. I think the lesson from Katerra was crucial. You can't just throw tech and manufacturing principles at construction without deep industry expertise. You need both. And other modular firms like Factory OS or volumetric building companies, they are thriving. Katerra, despite failing, really pushed the conversation forward.
Okay, that makes sense. Learn from the missteps.
Mhm.
So building on that idea of factory production, 3D printing of buildings, that sounds almost like science fiction. How does that actually work?
It is pretty futuristic, but it's happening. Essentially, you have large robotic printers, kind of like giant robotic arms, extruding materials like concrete or special composites layer by
I leg
layer.
up walls and structures.
Exactly. Either directly on the job site or sometimes printing panels or sections in a factory. The big promise is speed, much less material waste, and needing less labor on site.
Any companies doing this at scale?
Mighty Buildings is a good example. Based in Oakland, raised over $150 million. They print wall panels using a proprietary material, partly recycled, supposedly stronger than concrete. Then they assemble them. They're actually building a whole 20-home community in Desert Hot Springs, California.
Wow. And the time savings.
Dramatic. They say about 1 month to get a 3D printed home ready versus, 6 to 8 months for traditional construction.
And these newer methods, 3D printing especially, they must connect strongly to sustainability goals.
Oh, absolutely. 3D printing is inherently low waste. You only use the material you need. Modular construction often leads to tighter, more energy-efficient buildings.
And I saw a mention of Icon partnering with NASA for Mars.
Yeah. Printing structures on the moon or Mars, that really gives you a glimpse of the potential, doesn't it? But back on Earth, this focus on sustainability green ConTech is real. Lower carbon footprints, fewer material deliveries, eco-friendly materials. It's attracting climate-focused investors.
Makes sense. Scott Gibick from Mighty Buildings had a quote about that.
He did, emphasizing that globally, we just have to build more homes much faster to deal with housing shortages. And these new technologies offer a way to do that more sustainably. It solves kind of a dual pressure.
Okay, so we've got digital models, autonomous machines. But what about tech that bridges the digital and the physical on the job site? I'm thinking augmented and virtual reality,
Yeah.
usually associated with gaming, right?
Right, but they're crossing over in a big way. They're incredibly valuable for visualization and coordination in construction.
So how does AR, augmented reality, work on site?
With AR, you can use a tablet or special AR goggles, think like Trimble's hard hat, that integrates Microsoft's HoloLens to overlay a 3D digital model, the BIM model, directly onto your view of the physical job site.
So you can see if what's being built actually matches the plan in real time.
Exactly. It helps catch errors instantly. Like, is that ductwork installed where the model says it should be? You can see it right there.
And VR, virtual reality.
VR offers those fully immersive experiences, great for design reviews with architects and clients before anything's built. Also, huge for safety training, simulating dangerous tasks like operating a crane or working on scaffolding, but with zero real-world risk.
Improves communication, cuts errors, safer training. Sounds powerful.
Both AR and VR really boost communication and transparency.
Okay, shifting gears a bit. From the flashy tech to something maybe less glamorous, but absolutely critical, digital permitting.
Oh, yeah. The permitting process has traditionally been a huge bottleneck. Slow, paper-based, involves navigating nearly 20,000 different jurisdictions in the U.S. alone.
A nightmare for builders.
A notorious headache. But now you have startups like PermitFlow and GreenLite creating online systems, digital plan submission, tracking progress online.
GreenLite has a unique angle, right? They're actually reviewing plans.
Yeah, that's interesting. They're authorized as a digital plan reviewer in something like 2,000 jurisdictions. So builders can use GreenLite's platform and their certified experts to handle the code compliance review digitally, which can really speed up approvals.
And the benefit for builders? Predictability.
Huge benefits. More predictable timelines, way less paperwork, allows them to start projects sooner. That saves serious money on carrying costs alone.
So clearly there's a ton of innovation happening. Let's talk about the money behind it. The investment fueling this ConTech revolution must be significant.
Unprecedented, really. The estimate mentioned in the article was around $50 billion invested in AEC architecture, engineering, construction tech just between 2020 and 2022.
50 billion. Wow, that's a massive jump, right?
Yeah, something like an 85% increase over the previous 3 years. It really signals that the ecosystem is maturing. You've got multiple unicorns, billion-dollar private companies, and major IPOs like Procore.
And the big established players are involved too, buying up startups.
Definitely driving consolidation. Autodesk bought PlanGrid and Building Connected. Procore bought LevelSet. They're strategically acquiring promising tech and integrating it. It shows a long-term bet on this space.
What I found really interesting was the trend of construction companies themselves becoming investors,
Hmm.
like WeWork and Suffolk Construction investing early in open space.
Yeah, after being customers first.
That must help those startups enormously, getting that industry validation, navigating the sales process.
Absolutely. It's a strategic alignment. Fundamentally, though, investors see the potential. ConTech is tackling these long-standing chronic inefficiencies in a truly massive market. Construction's worth trillions globally.
The Kinsey stat about it being one of the slowest to digitize.
Exactly. So if technology can make even a small dent in improving productivity, which has historically crawled along at maybe 1% a year, the financial returns could be enormous.
Plus those macro trends you mentioned. Infrastructure spending, needing to build more with less.
Strong tailwinds pushing it all forward. Government infrastructure bills, reshoring manufacturing. It all demands more efficient construction.
Now, is this innovation happening everywhere equally, or are there specific hotspots?
Well, it's certainly growing broadly. But yeah, some clear hubs are emerging. The San Francisco Bay Area, no surprise, with its VC network. Austin is booming with development, so lots of activity there.
Denver, Boulder, too.
Yep. And the East Coast, New York, Boston, also Chicago, Houston, it often comes down to a mix of factors: venture capital, tech talent pools, local development booms, strong presence of established construction or engineering firms. Boston, for example, leverages its robotics expertise. New York is strong on the financial tech side.
But scaling up in ConTech must be different than, say, a pure software company. Construction can be pretty conservative.
Oh, definitely unique challenges. Procurement processes can be slow. Lots of pilot projects needed to prove value. Sales cycles are often long.
So how do startups break through?
The common path is partnering with established players. Get that foot in the door, prove the ROI on one or two pilot projects, demonstrate real savings or efficiencies.
Like the example of a contractor saving big with an AI scheduling tool.
Exactly. Or a State Department of Transportation cutting approval times with digital permits. Once you prove it works and saves money or time on a real project, then you can start talking about rolling it out across their whole portfolio. Word of mouth and proven ROI are key. Those cutting-edge tools start to become standard practice.
Okay, so wrapping this all up, what's the big picture takeaway?
I think the main thing is that the impact of ConTech is real, and it's tangible now. We're seeing projects finish faster, with fewer budget blowouts, safety records are improving, quality is going up.
And the culture is shifting, too. Ideas that sounded like sci-fi a few years ago.
Right. AI project managers, robot bricklayers, they're becoming actual tools innovative builders are using. You have a new generation of managers who trust data, and field crews learning to work alongside robots and digital tools as collaborators, not threats.
Are there still hurdles?
Oh, sure. Challenges remain. Construction is incredibly diverse. What works for a Manhattan skyscraper might need adapting for a rural bridge. There are still questions around regulations, insurance, cybersecurity, making sure different systems can talk to each other, interoperability.
But none of those seem like showstoppers.
No, not insurmountable. Industry groups are actively working on standards and solutions for all of those. The momentum feels pretty strong.
Because ultimately, the market logic is just too powerful.
Exactly. We simply need to build faster, cheaper, safer, and more sustainably. Technology is the key lever. Whether you're a developer squeezed on margins, a contractor desperate for workers, or a public agency with huge infrastructure goals, ConTech offers fundamental solutions.
So the future is already here in pieces.
In many ways, yes. Construction might not change overnight like software sometimes does, but this digital revolution is steady, and it's definitely underway. Think about it. In the next few years, AI could be the go-to assistant for every project manager. Robots will handle more of the tough, dangerous tasks. And every significant building or piece of infrastructure will likely have a digital twin accompanying it for its entire life.
That long-standing productivity puzzle in U.S. construction.
It's finally being tackled piece by piece. We're laying a new foundation, you could say, for a construction industry that's smarter, faster,